Eu vim da Bahia, mas eu volto pra lá. Eu vim da Bahia, mas eu volto pra lá. Eu vim da Bahia cantar. Eu vim na Bahia cantar, vim na Bahia cantar. Oh my god, I can't have you on my computer. Eu vim na Bahia cantar, vim na Bahia cantar. Inspiration and card. Eu vim da Bahia, mas eu volto pra lá. Eu vim da Bahia, dias eu volto pra lá. Eu vim da Bahia cantar, vim da Bahia cantar, pra dizer a Bahia que deu alta moça da emoção, a Bahia que vive pra dizer. Eu vim da Bahia, não voltou pra lá. Eu vim da Bahia, sim, mas eu voltou pra lá. Eu vim da Bahia cantar, vim da Bahia cantar, pra dizer a Bahia que dentro meu fogo, nosso coração. Bahia que vive pra dizer. De tudo tiver viver a cantar. O samba de roda do samba do canto do mar. Eu vim da Bahia, mas eu volto pra lá. Eu vim da Bahia, dias eu volto pra lá. Dum, dum,
I'm just gonna be real here. Never watched much Luke Smith. I never really watched much YouTube. I'm not really a YouTube kind of guy. If I watch a little bit of YouTube, I used to watch Asmund Gold talk about video games. I don't know why. I just loved it when he talked about video games. And now I don't really watch much at all. So Luke has released a video for the first time in like how many years now, right? And so I love that he has a Stain shirt on. It's just so good. My kind of man. Okay. Wow. So it's been a couple years. So let's listen to this out.
I think people severely underestimate the effect that they can have on the world. In fact, it's almost like the disease of the modern life.
I know what you mean, man.
They have this idea of the world as just being a bunch of forces beyond my control. They're historical forces. There are, I don't know, all these trends that I can't help. I can't resist. I just have to go along with them. And ultimately,
by the way, is there something wrong with like how he's filming or all that, or does he have like a full-on just platinum grill? Is that what's going on here?
Helpful, I can't resist. I just have to go along with them. And ultimately, I have no control over my own life. And I think that could not be. When you eventually in your own life realize that is not the case, it might be too late. So now,
by the way, it is his beard. Okay, it's his mustache that's actually going over his teeth that make it look like that. Okay, I totally understand. By the way, he's been a lot of facts right here. Okay, a lot of people, they already have a predetermined ceiling which they can reach because they look at themselves as only, the leaf in the river, and that's that.
I've done a video before. I was going to say a little bit ago. It's probably a couple years ago now. Talking about like the kind of implicit psyop in television. Right?
Oh wow, guys! So yeah, the rewrite guys is coming along. Thank you.
People do stuff.
Reese, I'm currently rewriting the codebase. I had the codebase written in Rust using WASM bindgen to interop with. You can do everything with WebSys and WASM bindgen basically, right? I'm sure as you know you use it for vhop, but I wasn't satisfied with the idea that there were sparse like binding. What'd you say? Every time there was a WASM bindgen, then your you're crossing the FFI, you're crossing the boundary, right, between the compiled runtime and the host. And I didn't like the idea that you could have crossings sparse throughout the codebase. So I was just like, let's just do it in JavaScript because the browser speaks JavaScript, and like there won't be any crossing that boundary. But like the consequence is like now everything is it's actually TypeScript. It transpiles into JavaScript. Now the consequence is everything is fucking JavaScript, right? So actually, right after I rewrote the codebase in Rust, I was like, well, hold on. Actually, this was before or after, I can't remember. This is before, I think. I had written it in C. C with namespaces, which is a project that I made where it just uses the minimal subset of C++ 20 with modules. So C++ 20 introduced this idea of modules, which let you... So I'm like, okay, well, let's just have an enforced... let's just have this, but enforcing a C standard. So you can literally enforce like C89 or what do you call it? Kling's like linter or validator. So you can just pass in like C89 as an argument, and then it's like, okay, this is C89 code because it removes the minimal the namespace encode. So because C doesn't have namespaces, but C++ 20 has namespaces. So you just strip the namespace stuff, and then it's fully compliant C code of a standard that you choose. So this is literally ANSI C. I call this ANSI C with namespaces. So it's not C with classes anymore. It's C with namespaces. I really love the look of this, and I'm actually going to use this probably on... I want to like start using this throughout all of my projects to be honest, because I really like the look of it. But ANSI C, you don't get the inline keyword, which is like a kind of retarded, to be honest. So you can't actually have inline code unless you have a macro that like defines the body of the function. Like that's an inline function. Is literally you just you have a macro that defines the body. It's really fucking stupid, honestly. But so anyways, now what I'm doing instead is writing TypeScript code that is essentially C code. So there is enumerators, and there are types are basically structs. Nim is dead. Yeah, no, for real, dude. Well, the thing is, like, the cool thing about this is that, like, here, like, look at the build script, for example. It doesn't actually use any C with namespaces until the very end. So, like, here's what a normal build script would look like. I mean, a normal one would use a make file, but this is like the next. This is like, okay, I don't trust make. I just want to have bash as the minimal dependency and cling as a dependency. Then this is what it would look like for a normal C++ 20 program. And then if you want C with namespaces compliance, then you just add this line. So you don't have to even reconfigure your entire project to use C with namespaces. It's simply a validation step. So this last line down here, look at that. It says C9. Okay, this is actually, it's not ANSI C, but it's C99. So, okay. This right down here is all you need. It says build C with namespaces, check, and then it checks the sources. Like that's it. You just pass in the arguments, and you can say C99 right here. So basically, compliance with C, like compliance for something like nim or like dlang, or like any of those like all, because like there was the slop languages that came out. People call them slop languages. the successors to C++, which came out in like the early 2000s, compliance with nim in D means writing your entire project in nim or D. Compliance with C with namespaces means that it just has to pass the validation step. So you're writing a C++ 20 project, but the validation can just happen at the end like this. So it doesn't actually like, I much prefer this than writing my entire language in something that has to be compiled with something that probably won't even work 30 years from now, right? Let's just hope that the thing that doesn't work 30 years from now is not Clang C++ 20, right? And who knows, maybe that might be a possibility, because C++ at this point is like a 1700 line, 1700 page PDF standard. Let's see, C++ 20 standard. Right, so it's not exactly simple. Right, when you 1800 pages, where you compare to C89 PDF. This is it right here. C99 is like 180 pages or something. 125 pages, right? So this is complexity. This is it. It's about 10 times as complex, I guess you could say. Yeah. But we're only using a tenth of the language, basically, is what this means, right? We're using, so I don't know, like basically all you need to do if C++ 20 wasn't working in 20 years is I guess what, replay, like, no, if C++ 20 doesn't work, then you literally can't compile this. That's all that means. Yeah. So, better be working in 20 years from now or 100 years from now, which honestly, I don't know if that will happen. But. So anyways, now we're just writing TypeScript as basically C code. So the thing I noticed about C code, something that people don't talk about is obviously, like, encapsulation is not really good in C, or at least it's not obvious, because when you include a file and you use the functions and variables of that file, like, it's not namespaced, right? You just include it and then it puts the variables and functions in your scope and you can just use them. You don't have to prefix them with like module thing, right? And this is for me a killer, because I just can't reason about the code base. That's how I feel. I just can't reason about things, right? So the convention in C is to prefix everything manually, but then you inflate the declarations by having module prefixed everywhere, and then like it's like I don't need to know that this is from this module if I'm literally in that file, right? So C like completely lacks localized semantics, I guess you could say, and for that C++ pretty much wins over C, given that C++ encodes C, except with namespaces and some other extra things that honestly I don't care for. Another thing I noticed about C is it expresses, it emphasizes using obviously a single thread, and yeah. For real. Because like in Rust, it's literally just it's coupled to the name of the file, I think. So like right? Like it can't. The namespace wouldn't be different than the name of the file. You just pepper, like it would just, in this case it'd be pepper.thing or news.thing or main.thing, right? Like that's what I really like about Rust is it's very, the fact that it's actually compiler enforced, right? I think that's great. And yeah. They call me Rust crates and modules for one for Roblox Lua packages while writing Lua. I see. That's pretty cool. That'd be cool. Having some, if you could write Rust code that interrupts with Roblox game engine, with the Roblox Studio or something. I wonder how that'd work. You need a compiler at that point. But I think you could totally do that. It might get hairy with all the runtime stuff because like what are the runtime sort of, what things are happening in the Rust runtime other than you got dynamic strings obviously. What are the dynamic things? You got vectors, right? Are they called vectors in Rust? The dynamic vectors. I'm sure there's a few things that you need to re-implement if you made a compiler. That'd be cool though. Just like writing Roblox games in Rust. That'd be so fucking based. Exist? Holy shit. That's insane. That's actually crazy. I didn't even fucking know that. Okay. It's not a bad idea, I think. WASM to Lua. So does Lua implement it as like a bytecode interpreter? That sounds really fucking like slow. I gotta be honest. WASM to Lua, that's hilarious. I mean, it works. As long as it works, right? And then with Roblox bindings for Rust, that's smart. That's smart. That's cool. I think that's really cool. Real quick, I was just gonna say, like, so one of the complexities I noticed with pretty much any language except for C is like C has an emphasis on like what I call forward invocations. So like you have callback invocations and then you have just like straight up calling the thing. Like you have a dynamic way of doing functions and then you have like this static way, which is just like defining the function versus like having a callback. For example, like input, I could say like on press key, call this function, and then the function has a parameter for, like input.receive equals function key, right? This is like one way of doing it. This is the dynamic way, and then like the forward way would just be like pull input, right? You get like let event, and then you can just like say switch event, and then you can say like key.a, right? You can manually dispatch, right? You have a manual dispatch, and I'm realizing that manual dispatch is actually the way that we want things, I think, by default. And then but in the modern world, we use callback invocations as the first way of doing things, and then for some reason we don't do manual dispatch that much anymore. So I was like, okay, let's just do manual dispatch for everything, even though it's a fucking JavaScript. It's a JavaScript thing, and we'll use callback invocations whenever it's appropriate. But dude, this made control flow in data flow so straightforward to understand, and it's just so much fucking better this way. And okay, let's see. Generate code calls buffer.read and writes to constantly. Oh my god. That's pretty cool though. Like, I didn't know you could use buffers for that. That makes a lot of sense actually, to use a buffer. No, that makes sense. Yeah, it gets so complicated. Yeah, so dude, this shit, because like I had never been conscious of how callback invocations versus forward invocations have affected me as a programmer. I never really understood the difference because I never exercised the idea. But after rewriting the language in rewriting the codebase in so many languages, I was like, well, why is it the case that the C codebase like ended up being easier to understand in a lot of ways? And then I was like, oh my god, it's because there's less dynamic behavior. And when you had when I had sparse callback invocations throughout the codebase, that meant that like things could emerge from anywhere in the codebase as opposed to emerging from an origin, right? Being the origin could just be like the main function, right? So in our case, our main function literally, like, yeah, main is a little bit ugly, but main's always going to be ugly, right? Because it's connecting all these things together. You fucking pull things and you dispatch things. So like pretty much the ugly code can just be in main instead of being sparse throughout the code base. And everything else is just fucking straightforward. And I find that there's just way less complexity doing things this way. Forward invocations, because you're not making dynamic behavior up front. You're just doing what is. You have good assumptions up front, right? Because you can reason about the code better, because it can't just do anything, and it's not going to do, and it can't just do anything from everywhere at any point in time. It's all very controlled, right? So this is really nice, and it honestly it makes me question, like, how did I not realize after 15 years of programming, how did I not figure out that this like mattered? It's unbelievable to me. I think I don't know. I think the tools just put us in that environment where we think callback invocations are like the only way of doing things or something. Because like that's all tools do. That's all they give us. So we don't get fucking polling methods in Roblox. Everything's a fucking event. It's like everything's an event. It's a Roblox script signal. So yeah, I'm loving this, honestly. I'm loving what we have now. So, and it uses like fucking WebRTC. Closure's gonna be good for solving borrow checkers. Use stack variable by reference. Closure for value. Scope good for raw Vulkan. Oh wow. Solving borrow checkers, use a stack variable by reference. Closure before the value. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Having things on the stack, and that just seems like it would be easier to read and reason about. So it's like, hey, if it could be faster and easier to reason about, then like, fuck, like, why not? Absolutely. It's great. It's fucking great. So yeah, like right now, this is like a slop AI refactor, but it's gonna start getting good. Like even the slop version is easier to understand than what we had before. So it's like it can only get better as long as I keep putting effort into it, right? So I'm really like starting to get satisfied with the code. But yeah, it's so fucking manual dispatch is so undervalued in society, bro. Manual dispatch, bro, it's so fucking good. We need manual dispatch, man. We need it. You can't live without it. It's crazy, honestly. So I'm not a fan of this though. Dude, for real, it's gonna be so good. Oh my god. Because I've been dreading to just finish this app. And now that I had this like paradigm shift realization that like manual dispatch is actually something to care about, I just feel like I feel a lot better recently. And then so after we release this app and this website, release the app again. Static dispatch. Yeah, static dispatch. Yeah, static dispatch. Because Rust has dynamic dispatch and okay, so that's a term they use, static dispatch. Okay, right, static things. Static things are nice until they're not. But like static should be the first way of thinking, right? Because like, unless they can do anything, right? Is that how it works? I don't know. Like yeah, static. There you go. Perfect. Static. Just do static. There you go. What was I saying? Yeah. When I'm done working on this when I'm done with this shit, bro, I'm going straight back into games, man. It's already July. Holy shit, it's already July. And I said that Bowman.io would be out in June, and look, it's not out, bro. It's not out. What are we doing? We need Roblox.io. We need Roblox.io. Let's do it. When are we getting it? No, it's... I wonder what this shit even is. Okay. Let's get this domain. Yeah, right. Bro, we fucking need Roblox. Okay, we're gonna get Loveblocks.io. That's the one we're getting. Even though it's not Love 2D anymore, but it encodes the lineage. Well, people are gonna wonder what's love. It's like, oh, because in 2020 it was written in a game engine called Love. I'm like, oh, that's cool. But now it just works on the browser. Look, loveblocks.io/Bowman. Just play Bowman just like that. And we're gonna use I decided we're gonna use WebRTC instead of WebSockets. That way it's essentially UDP, and it's fucking peer to peer at that point. Yeah, you hasn't lost it. Yeah, fair enough. Well then, I mean, I wonder what I could do to protect myself from that. Obviously, I'm not doing it trying to make money off of it. I just want to emulate Roblox games. I mean, I'm just emulating Roblox games. That's it. Right? It's like what is it? It's like how you can't get sued for using the emulators, but you can for buying or like pirating the ROMs or something like that. So maybe here's what we should do. Make it so you have to provide your own Roblox file. So we could have a different who knows? Okay, we can provide the checksums to the RBLX files, and then it's just up. It's at that point, if you want to play multiplayer, you have to find the RBLX file online of the same checksum, and then you can upload that, and then you can play with other people that are using the same checksum. Yeah, that would be cool. Like that's how the game pirating websites do it. They only give you checksums, but that's how you know it's the real deal, basically. Because like you find it online, and it just matches. So like that's it. Yeah. So. Sharing the ROMs is the illegal part, right? Sharing the ROMs. Gotcha. I see. I should not talk about this on YouTube, maybe. But yeah, like we could just have checksums or something, and that should be sufficient. And then we just say it's up to you to find the file. I don't know. I mean, is it? Are RBLX files proprietary? I mean, are you allowed to share RBLX files? I wonder. I mean, there's no way, you're not. Are you allowed to share RBXL files? Okay. Huh. Yeah, dude, help me fix my scripts. Oh, recover your own project? Yeah, man, help me recover it. Help me recover it. I know you can help me. Malformed data. It's all corrupt. Corrupted. Help. Yeah. It's the binary one, oh my god. Anyways. Bro, I'm so hungry. I need to eat food. So I'm just gonna go do an Uber Eats. Let's see what we can find. Let's get some fucking sushi. Fucking dollar store sushi. Let's see what we got here. Oh man, yeah, that looks good. Look at that. Egg sushi. Could I go and finish my bites now? Oh, that's true. That's true. That makes sense. Yeah. Dude, even flight data recorders, I didn't realize they're extremely proprietary to the point like you have to actually like when you're decoding, you can't, like, there's no standardized way of just decoding a flight data recorder. You have to have like these proprietary numbers that each of the aircraft like carry with them. So you have to know it for that specific aircraft that you're trying to decode for. And it uses base 10, like, but yeah, base 10. So everything is in base 10. It's just really ugly and disgusting. RBX DOM is fully. Oh, RBX DOM open source implementation is fully legal. What kind of codecs though? Oh right, like meshes. Oh shit! I just realized how are meshes even encoded and decoded? How do those work? That sounds very scary. But I think someone on Roblox, I think there's a cargo crate for decoding meshes. I mean, yours probably decodes it, I'm sure. I mean, yours probably does fucking everything. Yeah, dude, flight data recorders is fucking ass, dude. It's so ass, bro. It's insane. It is so fucking disgusting. Oh, you have a lib. Nice. That's really cool, actually. This is, oh, wow. So you figured it out. How the fuck did you figure that shit out? What the fuck? That's crazy. Oh, nice. I like how you're getting all the good package names. I made crate names, right? I made one called like RBX oh no, RBX to OBJ. Did I make this into? Oh yeah, I did. Dude, that's a good prefix. It's really good. That's a good name. RBX Smash. OP, man. That's OP. OP. Ah, fuck. Yeah. I want to do at some point I want to do a flight data recorder visualization in the browser. So bad. That'd be so sick. Dude, I want a better browser. I want zero copy. What is it? I want better screen share. Screen share sucks. Pipewire screen share sucks. I want Pipewire audio devices. Those just don't work. It seems on like I don't know. Pipewire just doesn't fucking work with browsers. I think Servo got some upgrades recently, and I think they actually support WebGPU now. Yeah, look at that. They got WebGPU support now, supposedly. Which means Servo might be the way to do it, to be honest, moving forward. I'm pretty excited about this, actually. Look at that, man. Dude, this is going to be so good. Except what? Servo does a thread per tab, which is something I don't like. That's crazy. That's insane. Is it some like base 64? I bet you it's like, imagine it's like some base 64 plain BSP or something. It's like some base 64 for like BSP, I bet you. I don't know. Nah, that sounds so cool though. That's awesome. I gotta see that. You gotta send that to me. I won't show it on my stream, but I want to watch that eventually. That sounds cool. Oh, that must be really old then, right? Because that must have been a while ago. Let's just search it. This is the one, right? Oh, RBX Smash. This is the first RBX Smash. Did you fucking figure out in a single fucking stream? What? Whoa, what is this? What does this big thing mean? I see. This is starting to sound like like unmarked territory that I should be careful about. This is cool. I'm gonna open this in a new tab and watch this later because this is cool. Wow, that's nostalgic. Talking about mesh recreation. Bro, mesh recreation from a video file, and literally, like, we have this now. Except they're point clouds, not meshes, I guess. It's crazy. 8 years ago. In 8 years, the idea came true. I mean, I don't know. That shit came out maybe 5 years ago, actually. Yeah. I'm gonna order food. I'm so distracted right now. Oh. Let's see. So this is ass. Hold on. Well, it's ass if it gets one thing wrong. It has to be good. It has to check all the boxes. That's the way. I'm like such a binary thinker. Does servo have a dedicated thread per tab? Yeah, this is fucking okay. This is more granular multi-thread approach. This is fucking stupid, bro. Cancellation. The tab is assigned some dedicated script thread. It was possible, yeah. It's a lot better now, yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, servo, it's definitely better than... It sounds like it's definitely better than anything else we have. And given that it supports WebGP now... Honestly, like, why am I even using Firefox right now? I should have made a browser. I made that one in, with the vertical tabs. I can't remember what that was called. Electron web browser, this one. He uses fucking Node. You can make a browser in fucking JavaScript. It's so fucking stupid, but that's so funny. Node main npm install npm audit fix. You need a thread per tab for security, otherwise one tab crashing process can do. One tab crashing its process can do your browser. Then just like don't have it crash. I don't know. I mean, well, I'd rather have my entire browser closed than like have a tab secretly close or like secretly corrupt. You know what I mean? Let's see. What the fuck is wrong with this, bro? Oh my god. Oh shit. I didn't define the version numbers, did I? No, I did. What? How the fuck do I use this? How the fuck does this shit work? Okay, get it to work. Hold on, before I do that, when was this last modified? So that I can keep, okay, February 8th. So I last worked on this 6 months ago. Okay. Linux user installing a web browser. What is this? Oh! What the fuck? Did it fucking just crash? Okay. npm run start. Oh, there you go. There we go. Oh, look at that. We had a fucking... We had a session open? Wait, what? Yeah. Huh. Anyways. Like, okay, how do I use this browser again? I forgot. How do you search a tab? Okay. How do you... okay, gotcha. Yeah, I like this better. Let's go to we gotta go Roblox. Do I have any Roblox tabs open? No, I don't. Not high now. Let's see what tabs. Okay, let's go to the Pharonics tab. Why wasn't that the fucking first result? Why isn't that the first fucking result? Let's see, microphone test. Right, so
none like Pipewire just doesn't work at all on Electron. Is what it seems like, which is insane because it's Electron and it's fucking mainstream. Like, why wouldn't fucking Pipewire work? It doesn't make any sense. I know Screen Share works at least. I don't know, man. Browsers are fucked, bro. So yeah, man. If Servo works with Pipewire, then I'm just gonna use Servo. Yeah. Do we have the Scugga cheat. Anyways. Yeah. Bro, I see screenshots like this and it inspires me to make a browser game. Or like a mobile game or something. I don't know. And I see things like this and it inspires me to make a filmic filter that actually does like some light simulation stuff or whatnot. Like, look at how pretty that is. Actually, I don't know which one is film. I think it's this one because, like, look at, you get these bleeding, light bleeding look. My ultimatum fails if servo works. If servo works, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's not even supposed to be. It's not like it's supposed to be a browser by itself, right? It's a tool for making browsers, but like, I don't know. The way I see it is it should just do everything except for, it should handle everything except for the graphics. Like, you should be, or I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what a browser library should even do. But it should at least support Pipewire. I did, yeah. But it requires it. I don't like that it requires it. No. Oh, it's a fucking package? I thought it was a cargo package. R packages. I didn't know it was like a Arch Linux package. What? Dude, I didn't even know it was like an actual web browser. I thought it was I thought it was just for like making web browsers. Okay. Well, that changes things. Sorry, my package manager is just too cool for that. Oh man. Sometimes it's tempting to go back to Arch. Alright, let's get that. Let's get this. Let's order a fucking sushi. Where is that shit? Salmon. That works. If you get NixOS, you can flex on Arch users. Oh, Nix? No, I'm not a fan of Nix. That's the deterministic one, right? Yeah. I have a German friend who uses Nix. I don't like that everything is like sandboxed. I don't think that constitutes an optimal. I don't think that creates an optimal like operating system. Is one that everything is fragmented and like sandbox. Like, yeah, obviously it's easier to do determinism with it, but like, I don't know, man. I think Void just like has everything done perfectly, except for lacking some packages. But like this is good, you know. This is good right here. This is way better than how like mobile devices do it, where everything is fucking partitioned. Void is already pretty schizo, actually. You already have this punishment. Void is like the trust nobody mindset, I feel. Actually, no, that's Gen 2. Gen 2 is trust nobody. I'm describing like, because everything is separated. Like, if you want to get, like, I don't think, I mean, what'd you say? You have to install all the dependencies for everything you get, as opposed to like installing dependencies one time, right? Because like it has to, like, because there's the determinism factor. Like, you can't share dependencies, or you can't upgrade dependencies independently, or I don't fucking know. Maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about. Like, how, like, okay, hold on. How are things sandboxed? I'm talking about like on Android, for example. Why does each app carry it? Yeah. Like this guy does not have a shared pack. Okay, does not have a shared package manager with the common libraries. Right, like this idea of system-wide libraries. Okay, how about NixOS? Does it have system-wide libraries? Its version dependency is the same version or should? If it isn't very traditional, then is it? Oh fuck. Dynamically linking is absolute less distributed. Upgrading or can break applications depends on NixOS. Yeah. They're not shared in the system. Directory. Right, so every package lives under its own unique directory. An application is linked to the exact library. An application is linked to the exact library version it was built with. Right. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, its version depends either the same version or shared like a flat. Okay. Let's show shared. Yes, if multiple programs use the same build. Okay. There's only one version. If another package builds. Okay. The two versions can coexist without interfering compared to Android. Okay. I see. Okay, so it's like a slightly more efficient version of the Android one. Next to, for example, there's assembling spam. Then why doesn't Android do this? It's trying to be self-contained. Huh. I want to love. I'm not saying Nix is bad. It's not. It requires a lot of configuration, right? I mean, every package is like a configuration file, like a deterministic. It's a declarative. Everything. But it means like you need to have. You can't just describe packages as like an install command anymore, right? You have to be very thorough. You have. No, and fucking. I'm not fucking talking. And Nix, right? Right. You do like this, right? I'm not. No, this is an RP. Okay, hold on. That's not the same thing. The whole system is one config file. Right. See, I'm not a fan of that at all. Because it's like using NeoVim, for example. Like, the whole reason, the only thing I hate about NeoVim is that, like, it's not good enough by itself, and you need to configure it. There's no just like common ground, right? Whereas like Sublime Text out of the box is just great. I don't have to do anything with it, right? So there's like a quality to convention. You know, given that I can just go to anyone's computer, and assuming they have that thing installed, I don't have to worry about configuration or anything. I can just use it straight out of the box. Or like, if they don't have it installed, I just install it from the internet, and then I'm having the same exact experience that I would have had on my own computer, right? So like, I'm a fan of the default conditions, and you know, whatever I can get away with without configuring anything. So like, my thought is like, if I didn't do any configuration, what would be the best solution for my needs? And then I double down on that thing if I find it. And Sublime Text is one of the. Let me say like 5 seconds. Wow, that's actually crazy. 5 seconds. Filter me takes 5 seconds. You can eviscerate your system and it pays. What? How the fuck does that work? That's cool. Hold on. NixOS. Oh, man. Come on. What are the packages? Let's see the packages. You know what? Reese, you might get me hooked. Let me order this fucking sushi real quick. Okay, I ordered the sushi. Okay. I don't know, man. Their website looks too bad. I don't think I can go with them. Nah, man. I want to enter the void. Where did that shit go? They had an enter the void thing or something. Nah, dude. I gotta enter the void, man. Okay, let's see. It can be configured without systemd. Well, wait, I'm sure it could be configured without anything. What would Nix config look like for run it? Where? Run is not supported. Don't assume. Don't assume. What the fuck are you talking about? No. I mean, I don't give a fuck. How do I do it without systemd and including run it? What the fuck? Reese. GPT is saying that I can't decouple from systemd. Well, no fuck. Okay, build or adopt a separate configuration flow rather than using the NixOS modules. What the fuck is it? Nix without systemd. 6OS. Okay. 6OS. You know what the problem with Linux people are? Is they think they can just fucking replace anything with anything because they think that anything accounts for anything, but that's just not the fucking case. If you want a fucking real fucking operating system, it's not a fucking modular behemoth fucking thing that can do anything. It's the operating system that emerges from a single code base. That's the one that's gonna win. It's not fucking FOSS. It's not FOSS. It's not modularity. Right. And so Linux does serve that package one of Python. Dude, this is literally my problem with Arch, bro. Is like things are great. Yeah, Arch is great except for when you do as instead of sudo. Okay, so Arch is great when you use i3 but not GNOME. Oh, Arch is great when you use dmenu on i3 but not with Rofi. It has to be dmenu because only the defaults are the things that make it a good experience. And then you start going beyond, trying to do your own customizations, and then like nothing just works because the fucking R package maintainers fucking hard code shit into their packages. They assume that you're going to use sudo. They assume that it uses dmenu. They don't. It's like, it's just too many assumptions, man. And like obviously you need assumptions because you can't account for anything. You just can't account for anything. Like what? Like why? Oh, my fucking desktop. If my desktop was truly modular, then I should be able to like open a fucking window up here and play Mario Kart. Like I should be able to play Mario Kart in this text buffer right up here because it's Linux and you should be able to do anything. It's like, bro, it's fucking. That's not possible. Like, if it's so modular, I don't know. Then why can't I just come up here and write anything into this text box? I don't know. Yeah, the fucking Python environment shit is so annoying. But I do that. I actually do that. I have this Python folder. I don't even use a Python package because this just works better. Yeah. Here's what I was thinking. To have a package manager that could work on any distro is one that understands dependencies. So okay, the only caveat is like, okay, there can be a totally universal package manager as long as it understood linkage and like linkage between objects and executables, and then that way like the dependency tree is just traversing the like shared objects, and the dependencies are the executables or even the objects, right? You can have libraries, right? That's like the package manager has all the information it needs right here. This actually encodes everything you need, right? You know what depends on these things, right? This is really cool. So it almost makes you think like, obviously this doesn't apply for like Python packages and whatnot, but any binary package, which like it's 2026, let's just write things in a native fucking compiling language. There could just be a universal package manager that could fetch shared objects or binaries or whatnot, or build them and then just put them in here, and that's it. Like the dependency tree is literally encoded into this entire structure. Like lib and bin is the dependency tree. Yet I don't see any package manager working this way. Next, oh yeah, Yeah, no, you're right. I can install Nix on here. In fact, I know someone who uses Nix on Void, which is retarded, but yeah, I wouldn't. Like, yeah, it's cool. Like, I like that Nix is declarative because it's functional. I think it's cool. I just don't think it's. It actually might be really useful. Yeah. No, you know, it actually might be really useful. No, it is. It is useful. I don't know if you remember when you first got me on Linux. I was every day for like at least 4 months straight. I was pretty much reinstalling different. I was reinstalling the distro multiple times, and trying to emerge as much as I could from like a functional configuration file, like a declarative configuration file. And I would do this until I was happy with the setup that it produced. And like knowing that I could have used Nix to do that would have saved me like literally weeks of time. Like literally, I probably burnt a lot of weeks doing that. But there were a lot of good lessons to be learned. Obviously, in some cases, I think I broke the Linux. Like I've broken the system, and you know, when you're dealing on the time scale of days, or like not having a fucking USB flash drive, or like knowing the inconvenience of the consequences is what allowed me to learn how to fix a Linux system, right? So, yeah, at least I know how to like, if my shit fucking kernel panics or breaks, or you know, I don't have some DKMS module or whatnot, like I know how to fix a fucking Linux system now, so that's the good part. Like I have there's no problem if I just delete my entire bin folder. Like I'll fucking fix it. But I don't know. Yeah, Nix. You know, I'm gonna sleep on it. I'll sleep on it. It sounds cool. Like it definitely sounds cool. It. I don't know. Yeah. I really want something that is more principled, though. That can. Something that does things in terms of the linkage. So this is most packages get the packages get the images. So this is unless bespoke programming language, and it looks like fucking Pascal. That's insane. I didn't even know it was like its own language. What does... You know what you could do though? You could just transpile it. You could just transpile it. What the fuck is this? This is... What the fuck? Yeah, that's fucking just unnecessary, man. I don't know why they did that shit. What the fuck? My browser just fucking froze. What the fuck? Okay. I mean, if it were up to me, we got to figure out. Okay, is Nix imperative? Well, if they have for loops, yeah, it's imperative. No, it's declarative, not imperative. Okay, then why the fuck? Then why the fuck are there for loops? Go to the next version. Get the FFA. I don't know, man. I'm not a fan of this. You know what? Here's what I do. Here's honestly what I do. Here's exactly what I do. Okay, look, this is what I do. Okay, right? I'd say, okay, FFmpeg GitHub, no, FFmpeg binary download, right? I'd get the fucking raw executable, wherever the fuck I can get that. Here, static and shared builds, and let's just get the Linux one, and we're not even getting. Let's get the shared one, yeah. And then I'm gonna check the file, see what we got in here. Why isn't this fucking opening? There you go. And we're gonna open. What is it? What's our fucking PC man? What the fuck? Okay. We're gonna go here. We're gonna open PC man. And we're gonna literally just drag this fucker. Okay. And we're just gonna see. What the fuck does it link against? I don't even know how to check that. Downloads, FFmpeg, LD. Wait, what? Did I not get the right one? Oh, how to check what a binary links to in Linux. Here's how you know the dependencies. LLD. What the fuck are you? LLD FFmpeg LD LLD LLD doesn't even fucking work. What the fuck? What the fuck? What is this fucking bullshit? Readelf. Actually, this is great. No, this is all we need. Readelf FFmpeg. And we're gonna show the fucking I don't even fucking know what the fuck it's fucking called. Let's just show all. And then there we go, look at that. We literally see everything it calls into. And then we say, oh, it uses libav codec, libav util, and like it shows the fucking version numbers and everything, right? So then we just build a fucking tree, and then we look for those things. We say, oh, we don't have that, so we need that. And then you just build this fucking big. LD is way better to use. It needs an absolute path. Oh. What the fuck? What the fuck is this shit? I don't fucking pay LLVM for this shit. And I don't pay them in general. But oh my god. Object dump. object dump. There you go. Whoa! Look at those bytes! Alright. There. Dude, like, look! That is so fucking cool. That's fucking great. Bro, this is great. Now, this is what a package manager should do, is build a tree from this. It's actually not going to be a tree. It's going to be a fucking node graph. Build a fucking node graph. And just, like, resolve the dependencies and just fucking delete extraneous. You literally delete extraneous dependencies because you don't need them. And then that way there's never, like, there isn't this idea of, like, a cache, that a persistent cache that derives the dependencies that you have. It's like, no, just do it immediate. You can just do immediate mode to do it. Just calculate the dependencies and delete extraneous nodes, and then, like, you will never have extraneous dependencies on your system. Your package manager falls apart as soon as the first DLL tries to load. Well, no, I mean, why? Because it can't. Because no, I know what you're saying. No, like, the package. Obviously, you're gonna have. You're not starting from zero. You're not expected to run a program that doesn't have anything installed. That I'm like yeah. And all DLLs are listed by LLD. All DLLs. No, like, it doesn't matter. Like, the point is, like, no, I'm not saying this for emerging dependencies. Like, I'm not saying, like, you're starting from zero. I'm just saying, like, whatever. I create my own Linux distro. It comes with a package manager. It comes with the minimal dependencies to sustain that ecosystem. And then all I'm saying is the way that the package manager on that will work is by, like, it can find extraneous dependencies that are no longer used just by navigating the dependency graph that it builds. It doesn't keep track of, like, a dependency graph in like a cache file. It just does it by looking at bin and lib, because, like, this inherently contains all the information you need to know about what is on your system, right? There's no need for like a what is it, etc. xbps. Like, I don't even fucking know where the fuck that is, but there's a stupid, like, cache file that's just like in these things. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just not a fan of this shit. Right? It just needs to be simpler. And yeah, like, I don't know. You literally just need something that can take a code like this and output a binary. And the binary should be sourced from some reliable source, like Void or something. The exe is the database, exactly. This is the way to do it, in my opinion. Obviously, you can't have interpreted. You can't really have, like, interpreted languages, or you can't have packages that are anything other than binary. But that's fine, because, like, Python, for example, I don't even use the Python package. I just put it in my home directory.
So now you need the full exe of every package on one system instead of a tiny database. The full exe of every package on one. No, you don't. No, you don't, because... What do you mean? The full exe of every package on one system? You don't, though, because like these aren't even full executables. These are dynamic links. Right? What do you mean? Like you don't. It doesn't. You don't. You can get whatever executable you want. You just need the one that satisfies the constraints. Basically, like any of these executables, whether it's the shared one or the statically linked one, they will satisfy. Any one of them will satisfy these. You invented a slow interaction. Invented a slow and indirect database. I mean, I don't... Yeah, it's definitely slower, but... It also means that there isn't a like duplicate cache. There's not like a persistent cache hanging around. Like I don't want to store more than I should. Right? And if I can emerge all the information I need from lib and bin, then like why not just keep lib and bin? And it's not even going to be that much slower. It's like it would probably only take like a second. It'd probably only take like a second to figure out the entire dependency tree. If I were to guess. I mean, like let's see how big. I don't even know, how do you... There is this is so inefficient. How to see how much space a folder occupies. So 1.4 gigabytes, right? So that on a NVMe, that's going to take like a second or 2 seconds. It's going to take like 2 seconds. 2 seconds is a long time. But no, we're not reading the entire files, right? You're reading like only the portion that shows you the links. I don't know. I think it would take a second. One, two, three. We're talking about raw DLLs as the entire package description of the data files. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. No, like the package manager itself would resolve where to get the file. So like you could have like a I don't know, like a package list file .toml or something, right? And like this just describes the sources of the binaries. So you just have like a list that describes the like where the binaries come from. Because you need a source, right? So like I'm curious, like what does void Linux should download the package? The recursively download the DLLs after you want. So like you download the package you want and then recursively download the DLLs it wants after you get it. Yeah, exactly. Like something like that, pretty much. Yeah. And like obviously like there are different flavors of the package you want, because like some people compile it with like there are already different flavors of the package you want because people compile it with different flags, right? So like I don't know, after many round trips and a broken intermediate state,
Yeah, but like there's like I don't think there's anything wrong with having a broken intermediate state. I'd say it's because like well, just think about how much more simple it is this way. Like you literally don't need to have your own like cache file that you have to parse, and like you don't need to. It's the idea is a lot more simple, and it's a lot more universal if done this way, because like all you need at the end of the day is like wget or curl. You just need wget, right? As opposed to needing all the baggage that comes with. Well, here's the other problem is like package managers assume a file. They assume what you call it, a fucking a file a folder structure. Like what if I wanted my bin to be on my in my home directory, for example? Python libraries are not allowed in your package manager. Yeah, Python libraries aren't allowed. That's fine. I literally don't want Python on my computer. I just want binary. I just want executables, man. I don't want anything more than that. And if I wanted Python, I'll just put it in my home directory, and I do that now. And that's completely sufficient. Remember, like the goal is a universal package manager that is just simple to understand. So simple that you could just, if you wanted to, you could just you can compile your own version of it. It's just a dead simple package manager. And the good thing about it is it finds extraneous dependencies, because it just it finds disconnected groups, right? And then like you just delete those. So like literally like deleting a package is literally deleting the executable, or deleting the, like, I don't know, like you can just delete the executable and then resolve the intermediate state. You can resolve the intermediate state by either filling in the blanks or by breaking the structures that are connected to the missing piece. Breaking the structures means deleting the remnants, and filling in the blank means installing the dependencies. So like it doesn't support Python. So when I say universal package manager, I mean something that can just work on like any fucking operating system. Like any operating system and which means any Linux distro, right? And it doesn't need, it just works anywhere, right? So actually, given that, it needs to have a universal language behind it, and there isn't really a universal language, right? So maybe the package manager would have to be compiled for every operating system. Yeah, it would have to just be compiled for every operating system. Or it could just be written in Python. The package manager could be in Python, but I'm not doing that. That's so fucking funny though. Doesn't support Python. I know. Well, Python isn't a real dependency. Just think about that. Python is not a real dependency. It supports only real packages, Reese. Real packages only. Real languages. Bro, if we just supported real languages, the whole ecosystem would be so much more simple. Like, why does fucking Codex require Node, man? It's fucking dumb. Yeah, that's fine. Like, you can literally, you should be able to say package manager resolve add bin lib. There you go. And then like this just does it. And then you can just use like sources default or something. And like this could be anything, right? This could be home bin. This could just be, you know what I mean? Only real. That's what I'm saying. Only real language is allowed.
And then if you want to delete extraneous ones, okay, but this is actually ambiguous, right? Because extraneous packages implies it implies that there is a separation. No, this is easy. This is easy. There are two clouds. Imagine there are two clouds. Here's all of your packages, and then here's like remnants. Well, the remnants is going to be smaller. So you just delete the smaller cloud. Great. Now there's no more extraneous dependencies on your system. Right? There you go. That's it. And look, you can just fucking put it anywhere. You can put it anywhere. And I don't know, you can say binaries, libraries. And these are actually not binaries, these are executables. And then you just sources, right? Wherever your fucking sources lists are. Because another thing I don't like, see, I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this, whatever this shit is. Like, this is stupid, man. And like, I'm not a fan of like this shit. Like, this is stupid, right? These things are stupid. And the package manager could totally could actually relink. You could edit the linker, right? To not the linker. You can edit the binary and change the link paths to wherever you want. So I don't need these symbolic links. This is just stupid. Like, this shouldn't even be a thing, but it's a thing. It's so stupid. Well, dude, how big is Pac-Man's code base? Hold on, let's do that. Pac-Man, GitHub. Where's Pac-Man Arch? Yeah, dude, I get it, but is this fucking it? Is this Pac-Man? Is this Pac-Man? This isn't Pac-Man. What the fuck is this? Arch Pac-Man. Oh, it's literally right here. Alright, here we go. Let's see. Yeah, so it's like, what? What is fucking PO? 20,000 lines of C code. No, I don't fucking know. Arch has a GitLab. Okay. GitLab. What losers. They use GitLab. They're one of those people. Alright. I'm such a shithole, I'm sorry. Well, they didn't. This fucking website doesn't even support GitLab. Okay. Okay, there you go. Like 200,000. What the fuck? Okay. What is PO? Like, bro, it's literally like, dude. Do I even have to explain? Like, what? Like, dude, this is so much fucking more complex. GitLab is slow. Alright, just get it down. GitLab is slow. Dude, like, dude. I know, like, these are just, like, locales and shit, but, like, the point is, it's just complex, man. And look, like, you need a database. Okay, look, they have a dependency test thing. Right? And they have, it's actually really not that much code. Oh, really? This is honestly not a lot of code at all. I'm kind of surprised, but still, it could be way simpler than this. Libalpin. Oh.
I see. Oh. Where the fuck is Alpen? Like the thing is, man, like the moment, yeah, okay, here we are. Wait, no, this is the thing I was just looking at. No, it's not. Basically, no, this is different. The thing that, like, these are pretty small fucking C files though. Arch Linux package management, gotcha. The thing is, I just don't fucking want this. Like, I like the idea that a maintainer is just someone. Actually, is that what they're called? The people who maintain, like, these, what you call it? Like, the people who maintain the R. Package maintainers, right? I like the idea that they are just people who look for sources of the binaries. And, like, that's all they do. They don't do anything else. And, I don't know, like, that's it. I mean, it doesn't sound very safe, to be honest, but whatever. Like, you should just assume that people are well have good intentions. There you go. Person's about to arrive. You know how many things would simplify if we assumed there were good intentions in everyone? You wouldn't even need security. R is not maintained by official distro maintainers. I know that. Yeah, it's all random ass people. That's what I'm saying is, if we can shift responsibility from, like, hold on one sec. Hi. Well, I was expecting a guy to be at the door, but it was a woman. And you know how I am around Japanese women. So it wasn't a good thing that I'm fucking literally butt-ass naked. So, Yoisho. I'll start with this for now. Yoisho. Okay. Oh, man.
Oh my god, this looks so delicious.
I wanted to fucking tape this shit up. God damn it. Need fucking scissors to open it. Anyways, okay, yeah. So I just want a simple package manager. That's it, man. And I don't want, because like, okay, one of the other philosophies, or things that I live by, is I want to know everything. I want to know literally every single file on my system. And that means that either I could know more about things or I could just start taking away things. And I'd rather just take things away. So, you know, I'm not a fan of... I don't know. I like the idea that the binaries encode the dependencies. I just love that idea, and I haven't seen anyone taking action towards that. Okay. Thank you. I'll catch you later. Oh yeah, it's like fucking 2 a.m. over there. What?
Something about life. It tells you that life is the way it is, and you can't really do anything about it. But I think talking about TV is a little superficial. A way to make it a little clearer is that all of us in the modern world...
I don't actually understand that. I'm so sorry. I'm just processing through that TV one. I assume he's talking about like a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire thing, or one of these mini game shows that have some sort of grandiose prize at the end, and 99% of people don't make it through the whole thing, and they get through. Education's a problem. Education can be a problem. No, like a think sitcom. Okay, something more like Seinfeld style, Simpsons, where it's just people living in a kind of a stuck permanent world. Thing happens. Stuck permanent. Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. Sorry. I was trying to understand the analogy because it was a bit confusing for me. Trying to grasp what is he trying to say. Okay, it's kind of like a hair dye in your grandmother's hair. I know you're probably thinking, where are we going with this analogy? I didn't realize how old my grandmother was or how little time she had left until I saw her without hair dye. And then I realized how much faster life actually was, and that I was missing that small little fractional bit of time left with my sweet, sweet dear grandma. She always looked the same, always had the same hair color, everything's always the same. And then when she started to fall sick, all of a sudden it's just like stark white. And I realized, oh my gosh, she's much older than I realized.
A way to make it a little clearer is that all of us in the modern world have basically gone through what is a kind of brainwashing to make you servile, to make you accept that basically everything is beyond your control. And really, that's basically formal education. And what I mean by...
Is that true? I mean, there is some level of truth to that in the sense that, growing up, no matter how you grow up, you're gonna have assumptions and ideas about how the universe works that you don't even realize you have, and you're gonna operate, based on that. I mean, this is no matter what the system is, for good or for bad. This is an absolute truth that everybody has to realize, that you have pre-based kind of things in your life that you don't even know why you think that, you don't even realize that you think that, you just operate on that kind of circumstance. So
by that is like formal education is not like the real world. The real world, you have basically infinite possibilities, and if you do something unexpected or valuable or new, that is something that is going to, that's the best thing you could basically do. You can be a little entrepreneurial, you can readjust how people perceive things. You don't have to follow a strict assignment, you know what I mean? You don't have to, whereas in formal education, obviously the goal is all of the trials you deal with are contrived trials. They're like little games, here's an assignment, do it this way, color in the lines, spell the right way, etc., etc. And anything outside of that is basically a waste of your time. And
I'm sure this is not true on all things, but I just think about like math. Like, is there any other way to teach math? right? Like how do you get through integrals other than learning 1,000 times and repeating the same set of exercises with slightly different variations to do that? Got to grind math. Like, I don't see how else you can't do any sort of grinding. I know other people are going to be like, oh, you can learn other things. Most people that say you can learn it different ways are people who have a superficial knowledge about some specific math thing and have never like actually gone through doing inverse trig substitutions. Like, yeah, the only way you can inverse trig substitute is that you have to grind that. You have to grind it for a long, long time.
Normie psychology, like mainstream psychology, obviously, even they have this concept of learned helplessness, right?
Ooh, I love
and that's
this topic.
the idea that eventually, if you put a person in a position where their actions don't really affect the direction of where they're going,
DL
they
Falser
learn
plus LLD.
helplessness. They become
Yeah, I know, exactly.
depressed. Like depression,
Implicit.
more or less. I mean, depression more or less is like people who are in a life position where they don't feel like their actions make an effect on what they're doing, right? So everything.
By the way, your actions do make a huge effect. Something as simple as doing something different for 10 minutes a day.
I gotcha,
makes a huge
implicit,
difference in your life. Like it is shocking. How
Dude,
much
no,
control
that's
you-
like, but this
how
is
many
like the
simple steps you
point.
can take, make a
Like,
big,
the point is that
Agree about that. Japan has a process where they keep the kids uncomfortable in math over 50% of the time, while we here in America
I
are
much
very
prefer this
uncomfortable
description
in some parts of our brains.
over
I'm not
whatever
saying
the
that
hell
American
you
education
describe.
system's good. Don't
Over
worry.
whatever
I
the
understand
fuck
that our test scores have been going
Pac-Man
down
would be
every year
described
for
as,
like
or
the last
even
4 years.
Void, fucking
I'm not
Void's
really
package
sure what it means
manager.
to be uncomfortable
This
in
is
this
so
situation.
elegant.
Anyways, it's just
DL
this
Falser
idea
plus
that it
LD,
doesn't
perfect.
take a lot to like make
I love that.
huge changes in your
I
life.
love it.
There's so many people that their
I'll take
like
it.
life story start like and they're like even just like in fitness, these nuts of course. Like you see so many people that start off by doing like a 15-minute walk a day, and then sometime later in their life they're running marathons. Like
Because, like,
it is this like difference of just
the specification
a small bit of change over long
is
periods
much
of
simpler.
time make huge differences.
They don't want to do anything. They just sit around. They don't feel like they can affect the world, and that is kind of the disease that so many people have,
By the way, you may not be able to affect the world. I think the thing is that your goal should not be to affect the world. The goal should be to be able to affect your life. You know what I mean? Like that should be the goal. You have more control over your life. I don't really attempt to affect the world because that is a difficult or untenable thing.
What's even worse is we have this mindset in the modern world, especially in, let's say, the post-Enlightenment world, that this is a justification for all of this, right? So you have this idea that everything in the world is just kind of a natural trend, right? That you ultimately cannot arrest, you cannot stop. It just has to be how it is, Now this is very ubiquitous in like politics and stuff like that. You're told this is just how it is. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't have an effect. This is just a natural end result of what's going on. And this is, we have sociologists, we have economists, we have,
God, I can't believe I'm using a fucking mouse again, man.
all these political theorists who will tell you this is how it has to be, And this isn't me endorsing some kind of utopianism, but I am saying that people need to understand there have been so many times in history, in fact, not just different discrete times, at every moment in history can be defined by individual people, okay? I'm very much a fan of the whole great man theory of history. I think that's really the most accurate way. I mean, it's the oldest, basest, and most traditional way of describing history, really.
The oldest and most basic. I mean, or to say what he's saying, I think what he's effectively making the argument is be Jean-Luc Picard. Be the captain of the ship. I know, where is it still snowing? Dude, I have no idea where it's still snowing. But I mean, just remember, for every Jean-Luc Picard that is the captain of the Enterprise, there are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people who, though make some amount of change and affect change, they are meaningless comparatively to the Jean-Luc scale. And so I don't know. I mean, if his argument is that you should strive to be a great man of history, which is based on the title, I mean, there's parts of it that's true, there's parts of it that's not true. It's like there's also just, it's better than being a gigantic figure, being a good dad. Like, that's better.
You look at the country of France. Okay, why do French people speak French? Okay, because Julius Caesar,
like, that's better. I mean, there's parts of it that's true, there's parts of it that's not true. It's like there's also just, it's better than being a gigantic figure, being a good dad. Like, that's better.
Beautiful.
You look at the
Well said,
country of
Primogen.
France. Okay, why do French people speak French, okay? Because Julius Caesar, millennia ago, invaded Gaul. He installed the Roman Empire, or the Roman Republic in that area, and those people speak that way because of this one man, you know?
Yeah, and we also call September the 9th month, month 7, okay? Julius wasn't that great, okay, brother? Okay? We September 7, October 8, November 9, December 10. Why the hell is that 9, 10, 11, and 12? Okay? You know why? Because Julius is like, hey, bro, I want my own month. It's now July. And some other asshole made August. And now guess what? Everything's all screwed up. September, the 9th month. Why didn't you add it to the end, Julius? Why do you got to be in the middle? Why do you got to do that? Why do you got to ruin my stuff?
You know what I mean? That's just what kind of I'm getting at. And there are many domains now. Like, it would be stupid to say, you know, figures nowadays. I mean, let's say people are talking about Trump because he got reelected, but it would be stupid to say that Donald Trump is not a significant figure. You know, we don't exactly know how he's going to be significant. We don't know. But either way, what is kind of what I'm getting at. It's stupid to say something like, there are just natural
For real.
tendencies in the world. There's
Support
nothing
6%
we can
of software,
do
yeah.
to stop them. Therefore,
I don't
if
want to
any
support
one person
everything.
does
I really don't
something
want.
or doesn't
I'm not even
now,
trying to be
therefore
like a
my
smartass.
this, that, or the other.
I don't want to support everything, man.
So he's actually kind of talking about like my fundamental.
Well, I mean, at least the fundamental things, right, are built in C, right? I mean, let's hope so. Let's see. Is IWD what is okay? What is IW? Let's just look IWD GitHub, right? Let's just take a look. And it doesn't even fucking matter, right? Let's just literally look in our bin and find IWD. Do we have IWD? Okay, lib. Find IWD. Okay, wait a minute. What the fuck? Is this what the fuck? What is fucking ID? What? Okay, let's open result. Written. What's IW written? Okay. Okay. Anything that installs multiple files or that's hilarious. Yeah. You know what? I'm not a fan of even configuration files. If it requires config files, then it's fucked. Like I don't want that. That's why I literally delete. Why I literally deleted all my configuration files. I don't use config files. Like, let's see, how many do I have left? I mean, I don't even really use these. I use instead these guys down here. And then I just inline. Like, this is it. This is what my MPV looks like. This is what my fucking what else? Like my Migdir. Here's what my CMOS looks like. Right? Like, I don't need config. I don't aspire to config files. I don't even want the config directory. I want that shit off my computer. I'm trying to get away from that, you know? If like, what is NV? It's fucking, this is NVIDIA shit. Right? So if that means I need to fucking get rid of NVIDIA, then I'll fucking get rid of NVIDIA. If it means getting rid of this fucking file. That's another thing. How does installing NVIDIA work? Can you literally just install the libraries and binaries and
Is that sufficient? No, because you need to build a. You need to build the kernel module. So like I don't fucking know like. So basically, you can't have NVIDIA drivers. Oh my god. Let's see. What does ours do? Let's see. Ah, fuck. Well, that's fine. You can already install NVIDIA drivers from the website. So that's fine. No, this works. This honestly works. Yeah. No need for a package manager. Oh my god. Everything's fucked, man. Everything is just overcomplicated. Everything's fucked. Whatever.
Basis for what you should contribute to open source. People are all, like, you see it on
Like,
the
honestly, man, hold on. What the fuck? How can you basically emulate Linux? Does this just mean? Every file is a separate package. Every file is a separate package. You could do that. It depends on lib8. Fmpeg depends on libav codec. Yeah. Fmpeg depends on libav codec. Yeah. libav codec. Then you get then you don't get all the other maybe with the program only depends on you get any areas impact. So then you don't get all the other when the program only depends. Right. Don't get all the other shit when a program only depends on any areas. Libav codec can be used without Fmpeg, right? Yeah, Fmpeg depends on. Yeah, no. So yeah, exactly, right. Like, why should I need Fmpeg for a program that just depends on the libraries, or like even what like Fmpeg devel, libfm. What is it? Lib. I don't know. Is that what we're talking about? Like, why should I need to install Fmpeg if the program only depends on one file, right? Yeah, like exactly that. Right? Exactly. And then, it would be cool if, biggest challenge would be making sure everything builds with one, making sure everything builds with one version of each library. Everything builds with one version of each library. Well, I mean, why not just have multiple versions though? Standard distro maintenance, really. Yeah. That makes sense, yeah.
Like, yeah, it's standard. Yeah, standard disk maintenance. Yeah. It would be cool, right? If when you the moment if it was resolved by the operating system or something. So like when you create a file that depends on a library, it just installs like the packages. It just installs the binaries, the libraries associated with it. So I can link. I link against SDL, but I don't have SDL installed, and I run the build script, and then like it does the linking step to SDL, and like what that would translate into like a reading. It would try locating the file, and maybe the operating system could recognize, oh, it's looking for a library, it's looking for SDL. Oh, it doesn't have that on the system. We're gonna install it. So then like. You get things on demand, right? Instead of having to so you don't even need to install packages manually. They just come to you. Packages come whenever you need them. I mean, they need to emerge from something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. Cool. Linux compatibility. Drivers. Right. I see. That sucks. Fuck Linux, man.
Okay, so I did see this tweet. I saw this tweet, right? I saw this thing right here where it's just like, you don't use 10% of your brain, why use this? And so Bend is apparently a simple language that allows you to write, feels like Python, but also scales like CUDA. Need a sorting network? Just write a function. Vimsorter.bend. Sorting network. Oh gosh, come on. Let me see it. Need a fragment there? Just write a function. I wish I could pause this. Let's look at this for a second, because this looks pretty cool. Alright, so let's see. Dev sort tree, case this. Rots. I don't know what rots are. Hold on. DS. Okay, damn it. It looks like Python, which means there's no type, so I have no clue what the hell's going on here. D is 0. That must be depth, which is the tree. Sorting network equals just rotate trees. Okay. Tree equals XY, so that must be left and right. So this is a binary tree. Left is sort depth minus 1. Okay, so we're starting from the bottom with X. S is 0. I don't know what S is. Where is S even used here? Oh, S must be is used in this rots. Right is D minus 1. Okay, I don't quite. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't really get it. I don't really get this function. There's like a warp, a down. I don't know what we're doing here. Rotate. So this must be a well-known algorithm that I just don't. I know, but I just don't get it. Okay. Well, it sounds cool. I just don't know how would you parallelize this. That's my question: is how is this parallelized? That's what I want to go find out. And so let's see if this thing does it, because there is a Fireshift video which we'll look at here shortly. But I want to know, can I understand this from this perspective? Shaders have always just been magic to me. There you go. Here's a bunch of math. You do it on a per pixel basis, right? Dude, I've never understood. Create a pixel tree. Why is everything a tree? Are pixels trees? Create a pixel tree. Bend D equals 0 and I. Oh, is bend where? Okay, is that how you say, hey, this thing is going to be color? Go. Okay, I don't know what Go does, and I don't think it has a definition of Go. So we don't know what Go does. Need a fast map reduce? Just write a function. Okay, I mean, I love this idea, by the way, that you could just go lambda, do this one, map, red, bam, 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 and you just go, and it just does it, and it makes it multi-threaded. I just don't, how does it do mutations? Because that original tree one does a tree sorting. How does it do mutations? I don't understand that. Interesting. Okay, let's go back to the GitHub repo, and because I mean honestly, this feels like V. You know what I mean? This feels too good to be true. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but whenever I see these things, it always just feels too good to be true. So I just feel like it's a lie. I'm sure that's just me being jaded, right? Because here's the thing that I don't understand is how did they make it so? Whoever made this language, how did you make it so simple to be massively parallel with mutations, especially when something like Mojo's trying to do the same thing? It's totally real. Okay, it's totally real, right? Like Mojo's attempting to do the same thing. A fearless parallelism. I know. I fear parallelism. Okay, I fear it. Mojo is different though. Well, I know Mojo. Of course, Mojo's different, but Mojo's attempting to make Python fast as well. I know. Don't worry. We like to look at the GitHub thing. Okay, it makes it more fun to start with the GitHub thing and read about it and have an idea going into it. You know what I mean? So it must be things that run on the CUDAs, right? If you want to use the C runtime, install the C compiler. Okay. If you want to use the CUDA runtime, install the CUDA toolkit. All right. Then install both HVM2 and Bend with this one. Okay. Cargo, nice. Okay, nice. Rust mentioned.
I don't give a fuck about
then
fucking
finally write some
programming
Bend
languages.
files. Okay. Uses the Rust interpreter. Wait, what? Wait, what?
It's literally
The
no
C
fucking.
interpreter
It doesn't
parallel.
fucking matter.
Uses
It just has to be
CUDA
imperative.
interpreter, massively parallel. Okay, interesting.
It just has to be imperative.
You can also compile Bend standalone C CUDA files into Gen C and Gen CUDA for maximum performance. But keep in mind, our code gen is still in its infancy. It's nowhere near as mature as SOTA these nuts compilers like GCC and GHC. Interesting. All right, let's read about this. Parallel programming in Bend. To write a parallel program in Bend, all you have to do is nothing other than making it inherently sequential. For example, let's see, cannot run in parallel because 4 depends on 3, which depends on 2. Yes.
out of 10 as fuck. What the fuck?
This shit's so fucking out of tune. It's literally a fucking. It's like a semitone.
Hello.
What's up?
Not much. How are you?
I'm good. I just want to call and get more detail about the progress.
Oh, good. We're pretty much where we were before the disaster.
Jeff. My name is Jeff.
Hi.
What's up, Jeff?
Who's that?
My nigga fucking forgot my voice.
Oh, hi.
He's a fake ass. He's a fake. Damn.
Hi.
That's sad.
Where are y'all at? Where are y'all at? Oh man. Let's go. Bismillah. 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 We're not really fighting anymore. Yeah, because like I'm not following the combo. She's fighting right now, so it's like they would get that fight, which is not. That would be great. Let's do that. So I. Oh my god, who the fuck is this? Let's say, let's say,
Seriously? Where at? Yeah. Wow. So where will that be? Where will that be? Wait, there's gonna be a fucking festival. Oh, by the way, November. When are we doing the like our my anniversary? So Because what we should be promoting it after, like 2 months ago. That means we need to have the apple. Right? So I'm saying September would be happy. Yeah. So I know, but we fair enough. Yeah. We're back to where we were before this. Before the election. Yeah, we have the entire code base. It's just a matter of clicking it up a little more. We're officially back to where we were. Oh, what do you mean? Get back to the previous release? We're not maybe like 3-4 days away from that, but that previous release was really rough, and there was a lot of problems with that. Make it basically impossible to use because the sync engine is fucking laggy as shit, and it's a very low functioning app. We had a higher functioning version before that we was using Convex, which was like back in forward. It's all custom. We're using our hosting now. But there were but the reason the sync engine didn't work well was related to a lot of other architectural flaws that we had before that we no longer have now because I've rewritten the code base about 12 times now, I'm still gonna need to make the sync engine better by between the let's say let's see, which, like, August, between August and September, so that month will be allocated towards fixing the sync engine. And honestly, that's pretty much everything. Like, that's actually pretty good. And then, adding the new features, because between the last production version and now, we did a bunch of work on adding like a privacy pin and all these extra little things that we lost. Like, those are all gone. So we're gonna have to reimplement some of those things.
That's fine. I mean, the UI is going to be a lot more different, I feel, because we're going to have to redo the UI to, I mean, by redoing it, I don't mean like we're going to keep the main things we had, like the map and things like that. But, or like, because we want to add like the real stage or something like that. So the app is gonna look a lot more better than what we have.
Yeah.
So I'll just add those, along with everything else.
Okay. Cool. Alright. Cool.
So what, September still sounds cool to you?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
That would probably just be for Unity.
That's fine. I mean,
The number would be both.
this was in September, October, right?
Yeah, actually, probably October will be
Yeah, that's fine. Like, we just need the usual Jabunani before the event, like, when the event is.
It's actually been how you're working with friends, so like, I'm gonna have to find a way to adapt. It's fine. I think we'll figure it out. So, yeah. It'll be nice. Yeah.
Well, keep at it.
Cool.
So yeah, I got it. So now it means that as far as like the masters and PhD students, and like international students, I found a really good way in to promote it to them and eventually get as many users as possible. And also I will be able to I'll most likely be able to get the people that are doing the festival committee for the masters and PhD students. I can get them to use the app for the festival.
Bro, I fucking asked my wife if she thinks I'm autistic. Or no, like, I was like, what? Do you think I have mental disease or something? She says, like, oh yeah, I think I have ASD. And then I was like, okay. And then she was like, that's it? I was like, yeah, like, I was just asking. No, that was it, like, it was a personal trip. I was just asking. And she was like, I'll show you the video. I'll show you the video. So she doesn't like that part about me, but I'm just asking. It's just asking. So like, I don't even know how to like. Why am I getting into a fight with my wife just for asking fucking questions? Fucking ridiculous.
It's not a fight, bro. How is that a fight?
Bro, because she was literally confronting me saying like, I hate you. What?
Yeah, like I tell you, just because your wife is confrontational doesn't mean you gotta match her level, match her vibe.
I'm not matching your fucking level. The whole point is I don't want to be confronted just because she doesn't like something.
Why are you pissed about this?
Why wouldn't I be pissed?
Don't be pissed. There's nothing to be pissed about.
Of course there is. There's something to be pissed about with unsatisfactory fucking wives. That's fucking something to be pissed about. It's fucking annoying.
Satisfactory wives. Well,
she make something wrong with it? She did. She just did. It's not fucking fun. If it was fine, it wouldn't be a fucking problem. It's literally not fine. There's nothing fine with being yelled about something. Why is she yelled about it? Yeah, why would anyone get mad at someone who asks a question? It's fucking stupid. What's the point of What does this even mean? What is pasando? What's pasando? Yeah. I don't want to get into a rabbit hole just because I asked a question. I don't want to start. It's hard for me to focus on something already. I don't want to divert the conversation. So this is how it started. Yeah, it's literally one of the fucking. So that's crazy. Disney's Dreadnought, Painless, this is everything. That's what's so. Are you a vascular? Oh, this is. That's what you mean. I will stay retarded gladly. I will just fucking be this way for what's wrong. That takes fucking heart fucked up. What is it? Like, I just not for nothing. Or like the thing that like takes me out of this world. Alright, see that.
You ready for paradise?
Let's see, can run in parallel, and that can run in parallel, are independent, and it will, per Ben's fundamental pledge. Everything that can run in parallel will run in parallel. Interesting. Okay, let's look at the tree example. There we go. For a more complete example, here's that tree thing, which I just don't understand. This file implements the Bitonic sorter with immutable tree rotations. Okay. So there you go. So it creates copies. There you go. That was that was my question. Was the copy? It is not the kind of algorithm you'd expect to run fast on GPUs yet, since it uses divide and conquer approach, which is inherently parallel. Yep. Bent will run it in multi-threaded. So the benchmarks, 16,000 threads. Oh my goodness, that's just mind-boggling. These nuts. That's a 57x speed up doing nothing. No thread spawning, no explicit management of locks, mutices. Yes, by the way, they're called mutices, which should be close. They really should be called mutilisks, okay? Because you think you like mutilisks, and you know you just can't have one. So you gotta have like thousands of mutilisks. But then one effing thread lock, i.e., whatever you call those raven bombs, just destroys your entire fleet every single time. That's why it should be called the mutices. This is why. Mutilisks, mutices, same thing. It's a trap. Learn Python. Let's see. What are your thoughts on MDD, meme-driven development? Shockingly, HTMX felt like meme-driven development, and it actually wasn't. It turns out it's actually just real. It's just real development. I hate benchmarks. Generally, I dislike benchmarks because I don't know what any of these things mean. But it's cool that I like relative benchmarks, which I think relative benchmarks are very interesting. I think absolute benchmarks are stupid. Like, I wouldn't go into this thinking I'm going to get something that's super fast. What I can say is that doing nothing other than changing where you run it, it just gets faster. Because relative makes a lot of sense, because then I can compare this against this and be like, yeah, this shit's way faster. So why would you do relative benchmarks? Relative benchmarks show that long as they're comparing the output and proving that the output is sound, that you get a massive speed up, a practically 100x speed up by just swapping over into this, right? So that's really cool. But Bend isn't limited to a specific paradigm like tensors or matrices. Any concurrent system from shaders to Erlang actor models can be emulated on Bend. For example, to render images in real time, we could simply allocate any immutable tree on each frame. Okay, so I wonder what the GC's like. I would like to see more on the GC and how that runs, because I guess that's my big thing is how are they doing memory allocation? Let's see, it would actually work. Even okay, so this is that demo shader, which is pretty interesting. Even involved algorithms parallelize well on Bend. Long-distance communication is performed by global beta reduction, as per the interaction calculus, and synchronized correctly and efficiently by HVM2's atomic linker. Interesting. Okay. It is very important to reinforce that while Bend does what it was built to, scale performance with cores up to 10,000.
It has lasted for so long. There's so much code in it that cannot break, that people are not actively maintaining. It makes it a relatively more solid ground for long-term code bases in my head. So that's why I would pick it. The other thing that I would say about it is that people think of C as a very particular language. Bill said correctly that a lot of the educational materials on C do not teach you how to write good C. In my experience, once you understand how to build a good code base in C, it becomes much more viable as a daily driver language, because you can make things very comfortable, even though maybe the syntax is janky. Things aren't quite as succinct syntactically as you might imagine. In practice, I'm not sure how much that slows me down. I'm sure it's not zero, to be clear. I don't think that syntax is unimportant, but I just think that when you do the whole analysis, it's you can make it relatively comfortable enough, and the fact that there's so much investment in the tool chain sort of gears it more towards that long-running code base thing. Now it's sort of a circular thing, right? It's like if people are building all these long-term code bases in C, there's no path to language improvement, right? To some degree, and so at some point somebody's got to make the jump. And so I don't really. That's a separate discussion. We'll probably get into that later. But that's what I would say for that question.
So I'd like to summarize this so that I understand where you're at.
Sorry, I'm all over the place, but
yeah, you've got the two most rambling people possible. Here we go. Yeah,
yep.
Even I can't get it out.
So to summarize this, you kind of view this from the lens of your company and where you're gonna be at for the long term, and especially for the long term project, C makes sense. Does it also imply that for side projects, but also like game engine from scratch, but like side project wise, does it make sense to use C or just head straight to other alternatives like Odin?
I would say it depends on how transient you expect your code to be, or how much weight you want to put on, like, do you really believe in, like, the Odin project? Do you want to rely on it long term? That's a decision you can make. Obviously, it's lasted for 9 years at this point, right? It's like it's the longer it goes on, the more likely it is that it's a viable option long
That's
term.
a, what, Lindy law, Lindy effect, Pareto distribution kind of thing, yeah.
Mhm.
But no, it's to carry on from this question in general. I clearly made C because I wanted something to work on. Short answer is I just didn't want to deal with C. Right? I'll try and keep the question to itself. But the point about tooling is very good. Like this is the problem: is if you're going to make something, you want to be stable, you want to have all the tooling you get, so you can get off the rails very, very quickly. And C has all of this tooling around it. However, and I will state this in a weird sentence, like when I started Odin, C has a lot of tooling, but it also has a lot of bad tooling. A very good example of this is, again, Ryan's made the RAD debugger, and it's coming to Linux soon, from what he's just told me, and great, so that will be the best thing on Linux, the best thing that happened to Linux development for the past, 20 years. Because this is the funny thing about people worried about all this tooling, and they don't even do it, even for the current languages, let alone the newer ones. And I think that's also kind of half of the problem, where you have to understand, like, what is the current tool set you've got. And at least with, like, when I was like doing Odin, I could start creating my own tool chain on top of it, or alongside it to help everything go along, as well as adding things that I would have had to augment anyway with, like, C. Like, for instance, Ryan has his own metaprogramming stuff, the Metadesk thing, or whatever you're calling it nowadays, and that will generate the C code, because you're finding out the lacks in the language, you want to add some more stuff. Well, I put a lot of that stuff into Odin itself already, like the stuff that you'd be saying. So it's kind of very much like, which path are you going to do? You're still going to have to write some of your own tooling, unfortunately, if you're going to be on this project for a decade at least. So it's this question of, is C a good choice? And the answer is maybe. I'm sorry, I'm always it depends. You have to. It's on a case-by-case basis. I don't give generalities ever.
Okay, but we're very, very heavily focused on building the businesses that will last for 10 years. What about all the other projects? Like smaller projects for yourself, maybe some external.
Okay, so if it's small projects, if I want portability, then I will use C, right? I want to be able to run on everything, which I could do. But if it's Odin, like for me at the moment, Odin's really only caring about certain platforms because they're the only ones I really care about at the moment. Now, if people want to support more, that's great. But for me, I'm clearly doing everything in Odin now. Like that's every single project I now start is an Odin project, pretty much. It's very rare I'll do a C project now. But I am the creator of my own language with my own tastes, and clearly put them in there. So it'd be surprised if I didn't.
Okay. So, to wrap up, again, to summarize, I think if you have a long-term view, if you start a company, if you want to have tooling and tool chain that is sensible, C seems like a strong option. For the other smaller projects that you don't necessarily have this like high bar, you don't want to spend next 5 years doing this project, or at least it's like a half learning, half educational thing. More likely Odin. Is this what I get? I need
for me,
I need
yes.
to get
For Ryan, I bet Ryan do everything in C. That's what he would do. So whichever way you're going to put him on the king with a point at. But yes.
So is this the first place that you disagree? For smaller projects, like hobby projects that you do after hours, you would use different languages. Yes.
Well, probably because we probably do. Well, here's the thing about that, right? if you kind of imagine, like, let's take the language name out of the picture. So let's not say it's like Odin versus C. Let's say it's like, actually, Eskil Steenberg at BFC had a really good mental model for this. It's like building your kingdom or your mountain or whatever he called it, something like that. If you imagine it's like Bill's mountain / kingdom versus Ryan's mountain / kingdom, it's like, yeah, of course, like I would pick my mountain or kingdom, and Bill would pick his. His includes Odin, mine does not, but it includes all this like C code base stuff, like my metaprogram stuff, like it includes all these layers that I've built, or like versions of it in multiple code bases. Because one of these code bases that I work on is the Rad debuggers. One is my personal one. They have a lot of similar ideas, but they're not the same code base. But it's like, point is, I have these translatable ideas in that space. Whereas, like, Bill has Odin, which he's put a lot of work into, like, the standard library, bindings for all these different libraries that you could have, native ports of, like, Odin-written ports of libraries, things like that. And so it makes a lot of sense for him to pick that, because, like, that's his domain, like, that's his code base that he's built up, effectively. And so it's almost like, I wouldn't expect him to pick C, really, because that's his thing that he's worked on in the same way that I've built like my code base stuff in C. So, like, I've got in my code base, I had to write like an HTTP thing for like a permissions system. Like, I just have an API for HTTP stuff, and I can call it, and it's like. It's more succinct than because I wrote this initially in Go, and I had like a Go program to manage these permission things for my like Substack and Discord and Gidia or whatever. It's like a really simple program, but I wrote it originally in Go. I'm not a Go programmer, so it might have been very like overly verbose or whatever. But I was like, man, I really would just rather have this in my own code base. So I built my own HTTP API, and it's just a wrapper of the natively available one. So on Windows that'd be WinHTTP. And it's like, I just built the API that is in my style, and it was really easy, and it turned out more succinct than the Go standard API. So it's like, I can just have that, and it works for me. But it's not that I think it's going to work great for everyone else. It's just like, that's my kingdom, like that's my mountain, you know what I mean? Just like Odin is Bill's, except there's a lot more people working on that one. But yeah, that's kind of the, that's what I would say about that.
So you view this as also like extending and layering your own tooling, and then once you start to invest in some language or some specific aspect of it, you kind of have this already, so why not use it, why not extend it, and you kind of like make this bigger mountain / kingdom of your own stuff, which kind of ties you to what you have chosen in the beginning.
Yeah, I don't think you can really get away from the history of a code base or project, really. Like if someone's starting today and they're like, I want to have a really good out-of-the-box library experience, and I just want to get graphics on the screen really quickly, no questions at all, Odin's going to be way better for that. Like, just absolutely no question at all. Like, the C library...
literally download it, you're done.
Yeah, like, it's so much better. In C, it's like got this bizarre build model. You have to textually include header files and then link with the binaries, or like hope it's simpler than that. But that's like sort of the unless you're getting a single header, that's kind of the best case scenario in C. And it's like it's just this whole nightmare to actually get up and running in C if you don't have a code base behind you. Once you do have a code base behind you, it's like I can start a new program and get graphics on the screen in 2 minutes. Like it's not a problem because I've done the work in the past, so I can use that prior investment basically. But if someone doesn't have that, it's like Odin's going to be way better out of the box, no question.
We trailed off from the original question, but I think this is a good place to sum it up.
Okay.
Oh no, actually we didn't, but like we kind of right. This was the category of questions picking C. Okay, when to pick C and when to not to pick C.
Okay.
I think we covered it. Okay, is everyone happy with the state of the affairs?
So far, yes. So far.
Okay. We can do a bit of a break. Take a look at chat. There was one interesting question during the when you were saying that, oh, Bill, who has done Odin language, is also employed at JunkFX. It was like, well, what about if Bill will leave?
Well, if I retire, it said there, and I'm like, I'm 30 years old, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm retiring for quite a long time.
exposed the age.
Yeah, I've exposed my age at this point. I mean, like, most people think I'm much older. Even in real life, it's terrifying, actually.
It's because of the beard.
It's the beard and the balding. I know it is.
Okay, no blood. Still no blood.
No blood.
No blood.
Okay. Alright. I'm getting ready for the next part. The next part is using C, and you probably have seen with the screenshot, using C has a lot of C questions in it. So now we're getting technical. So for everybody who is in the chat, strap in, okay? Now it's going to be really technical.
Here we go.
Bill, what C standard is a V standard?
The one I will use is now C11.
What the fuck
Put it
are
that
you
way.
fucking doing?
And that's just because of the atomics, pretty much. That's it.
Maybe we